keep you on the stage. Hi everyone, good morning. I am live and today I'm not doing this alone, but I have a very special guest. She's from Quebec. Am I right, Rada? Are you in Quebec?
I am in Quebec.
There. I want to hear Rada's story. We met here online. She's an independent business owner as well. But from the corporate world, she quit that and stay with her two kids. I want to know what's the story about that. Rada, could you introduce yourself first?
Sure. Thank you, Melissa. First of all, thank you for having me here today. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Radhal. I live in Montreal, Quebec. I was born and raised in Montreal. I have worked in the corporate world for 15 plus years. I have two young children and my husband. And now I am a full time online business owner. Um, as a young woman, I was very career oriented. I loved what I did. I was very good at what I did. And I was very determined to go up that corporate ladder very quickly. And things were going very smoothly, and I was making a good revenue from my career, so I can easily live comfortably. And then one day, this little miracle happened. I had my first child. And life kind of turned upside down for a while. I wasn't sure what to do, how to manage my child and my career, and it just became more and more difficult as days got more as he got a little older, and then one day I realized, what, I am giving up so much precious time with my little ones that I was scared that I was going to lose them almost because, they go into like daycare all day or they're at school all day. How much time were they really spending with me? I didn't really get much time with them. It was always rush in my life, morning rushes, then after school rushes. I mean, my kids barely used to get home around 6 p.m. because that's when the school daycare would end. And I would pick them up at the last minute and they had to be back at home and in bed by 8. So literally, how much time did I have with them? 2 hours after school. And those 2 hours meant feeding them, showering them, homework, and then pretty much going to bed. And then came the weekends. You think I would have the whole weekend, but no. I had to cook, I had to clean, I had to do groceries, I had to run errands, any activities I had. So it was always running, running, running. There was never a moment to breathe, you know? And I realized that I was teaching my children that this is how life is.
Mm-hmm.
You just
Yes.
keep running all the time, you know? And there came a time when I just said, no more. I just can't do this anymore. I'm kind of destroying my kids' characters and their personalities already. And they're not even like old enough to be destroyed. So I was like, I have to find something that I can actually be around them. And then one day, as I was scrolling, like most of us do on a social media platform, we all love to just take our fingers and do this all day long, right? I saw an ad where a mom was spending quality time with her 3-year-old child. And I'm like, this is impossible. I go, this is a stay-at-home mom. That's why she's spending all this time with her child. And there's no way you could do this as a career person? And I reached out to her just to see what she had to say. And I spoke with her and she explained to me how she runs a online business. And I was like, online business. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy stuff and sell stuff. And I goes, no, I can't sell for my life. Okay. So I was like, there's no way I could do this. So she goes, no, 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 you don't have to do any of that stuff. I'm like, you're pulling my leg, right? There's no way this is real, right? She goes, it's real. She goes, here, just watch this webinar. It's gonna give you the information. I go, and my thing was, that's all I have to do. She goes, yeah, just start with this. She
Mm.
goes, then make a decision on what you want to do next. So I said, fine. I gave her my name, I gave her my email address, and she sent me the link to watch the webinar. And she also sent me a replay because she knew that I couldn't wait till the next day at nighttime when my kids were there to watch it. So I
Oh, yeah.
watched the replay right away. I was at home and I had the time, and I still had my doubts. I was still doubtful because I was embedded in my brain that the only way you could earn money is when you go outside of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yes.
I came from an immigrant family, so the only thing they ever taught me was you go to school, you get a good education, you get a good job, and you're set for life. You know, so I watched the webinar and I said, I don't know about this. I don't think I can do this. This is not me. I'm not a social media person. I don't like to go on, show my face and talk to people and do all that. She goes, you don't have to. She was so calm about it. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is what it seems like I have to do. And she goes, no. She goes, look, there's many ways you could run your business. You could run it the way you want to run it. And I was like, what do you mean? Doesn't everyone have to do the same thing? Doesn't everyone have to do one way of doing things? She goes, no, everyone can do things the way they want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, so what do I have to do next? You know, she goes, I want you to learn about the business. I want you to see other people running their business. I want you to see what they're making, you know? I want you to make a educational decision about the business. So I took the next step. And I once got to know all the interior stuff about the business. I realized that there's a whole other world out there besides having my career that I was missing out on. And I go, all these people have known about this for years, and I'm just finding about it now,
Yes.
right? So I was like, wow. And like after that, I think like within 2 weeks, I was in the business. 2 weeks.
Nice.
And I have never looked back. I've been in the business now for 4.5 years. And honestly speaking, I wish I had started earlier because I'm like I missed those first few years of my kids' lives, and I'm like I wish I hadn't. I wish I had
Mhm.
started a little bit earlier, and I would have been there from there, like with them since day one. So that's my story and how I started this business.
It's so crazy like how we all started. Me, I was very skeptical at first as well. Just because, like you said, right? That is what I'm going. You have mentioned that you're not a social media person. Is that very challenging for you? Like when you started the business, you know that you're going to be on social media. Like, what are the challenges that you have doing running this business?
So anyone who sees me today would never believe me that I was a total introvert. Okay. They wouldn't believe me because this business has changed me. It's opened me up. So when I first heard about, I was a very private person. I didn't like the world knowing what I was doing or where I went or on all that stuff, right? So it was very hard to break out of that shell. And I find it, as humans, I think a lot of us are like that. We
Mhm.
don't want to break out of our shells, but to grow, we have to. It's like we could compare like humans and just say chickens. If that little chickadee wants to grow, it's gonna have to crack that shell and come out of it. If that baby inside of us wants to keep growing, it's got to come out of us. It cannot have be inside of us forever because it's comfortable there, right? It's the same thing with us as adults. If we want to grow, whether it's professionally or personally, we have to break out of our shells. We have to come out and see what the world is offering us and then choose what fits us well. So I started this business with in my head thinking, I'll do the best I can. Okay. So I'll put in what I can. I don't have to be in front of the camera. I don't have to show my face all the time. Right. But as I went into it more and more and more, I started changing. My personality, my character started changing, and I wanted to open up. I wanted to be out there. I wanted the world to know me, So it was like this it's like almost like a growth spurt that happened in adulthood. You know how kids have growth spurts and they grow taller? I had a growth spurt. I think many of us do. I think all of us at some point have this growth spurt as adults where we're just like, I want to get out of this and I just want to jump out and just attack, you know? And that's exactly like I felt that I had this change happen. It seems challenging, but because I had so much support and so many people just, cheering me on, that it encouraged me to keep moving forward. And here I am today. Look, I'm talking to you live.
it's
Look at this. And
Yeah, before I don't usually I am on social media too, but I'm not the star. My family is the star. I am always the backseat. I'm the one who's taking picture and then upload it. I love sharing my family's picture, but barely you won't see me because I I'm not comfortable on showing my face on social media. And then look at me now. I'm doing live with you, like what you said, right? And sometimes they said, right, your why should be stronger than how, because
yes,
every time I think of it, like, why am I going to be shy on sharing this business opportunity, right? I have seen this business how it helps many families. So why am I going to get shy? This is also I am building a better future for my family as well. So I am going out there. Okay, that is an online business. Would you believe I'll share it to you and to those who are watching right now? When I am actually from the corporate world before we acquired the restaurant. So my husband have years of experience in the kitchen. I don't have enough experience being at the front at the restaurant, meaning I will be the server. I'll be the one serving the food. I am not comfortable. I'm telling you, I am really not comfortable. Would you believe that when we acquired the restaurant and then my husband is so excited because he's so excited. This is our business. He loves what he's doing. While me, I still have to challenge myself being at the front. I pray and I said, please don't send people to dine in. I only want them to buy food to go.
to go.
I don't want to serve. I don't want to be in front of the people because I'm scared. I'm too shy. So at the end of the day, if there's no people come, I'm very happy. Would you believe that? I'm so happy because I stay on my comfort zone because I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to serve food because I'm scared. I am like basically scared. I'm scared that I might spill their drinks. I'm scared that I so 2 3 days I've been praying. No people. I'm happy. Where's the money? No money at all coming in because my prayer is exactly the opposite why we build the restaurant, right?
Right.
So I said, if Melissa, if you are not going to go out of your comfort zone, if you are not going to conquer that fear, what will happen to the restaurant? It will close down. So yeah, get out of your comfort zone if you have a strong reason. Why not? Did I die? No. Did people love me? Yes, because I get out of my comfort zone. Just be yourself. I am on doing online business, on doing this live. Before I do this live, I'm so scared before because I am thinking people will critique my pronunciation, my accent, the grammar I use, but you know what? This is me. If you don't want to watch me, then leave, go. But this is my business. I'm running my business. This is my rules. So this is what I am going to do. So this business is not actually for everybody. Rada, what is the highest? You mentioned that you've been here for 4 years now, right? What is the highest achievement that you could consider like being online?
Okay, so obviously, whenever we start any kind of business, our main achievement is the income, right? So we all want to achieve the highest amount. Like, when I was in the corporate world, I was easily doing high four-digit income per month. So obviously, I wanted more. So in this business, we're not limited. I mean, when I started off, yeah, I was making three, four-digit incomes, right? But as time went on, I got more comfortable into the business. I learned more, and I expressed more about the business. I saw the income going times two, times four, times six, times 10, per month. So the one thing that I have to say is we look at the income growth, but there's also another growth that happens, right? So achievements are not only financially, but achievements are also personally in this business where I find I've achieved more love for my kids, more attachment with them. They feel safe and secure now, and they're having a normal childhood. The kind of child, like, I don't know, like, I'm not saying that they had an abnormal childhood, but I find with busy parents, we don't give them what they really need. We can buy them things. Here's a toy. Here, go spend $10 here.
Mhm.
Whatever. We do that a lot when they're even when they're young. You take them to the
Mhm.
store, they're crying. Here, you want to buy a candy, or you want to buy a toy, or you want to buy this. What are we teaching them? That your happiness is bought with the money.
Mhm.
You know. But I don't do that anymore. I actually will sit down and play a game with them. You know, my daughter loves to cuddle still. She's still very young, so she likes to cuddle. So when she comes home from school, I can give her that half an hour when she comes from school. We cuddle up on the couch and she tells me everything that happened at school today, you know? And it's that moment, the smile on her face, a little sparkle in her eyes that mommy's holding me in her arms and she's not worried about, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. I could see she's internally happy.
Mhm.
And like for me to see this, and my son, if he goes, Mommy, I need help with homework, I'm not screaming and yelling, why don't you understand? Get this done with her. No. I sit down, we look it over together. He tells me what he's having a problem with. I will explain it to him. And everything is very, and I see that, what my biggest accomplishment in life after being in the corporate world and everything is that my children today are happy, feel secure, and and they love me unconditionally now. Because I mean, they loved me before, but it was a different kind of love. Today, I go to their school. I
Yeah.
volunteer at the school all the time, you know, and I see like my daughter, Mommy's here, and she says it in front of all her friends when she sees me at school. Makes me so happy to see her happy, you know, and I'm not giving her a penny for this. I am just giving her my time, and I think being able to do that is an accomplishment in itself.
Yes.
I know on the side with my business, I am leaving them a secure future, but at the same time, I'm present in their present moments. And there's nothing more important than these two accomplishments put together without having to sacrifice one for the other. Because when we go outside and we go work, be it a career or a traditional business, we are giving up that time with our family to do that. And if you want to spend time with our family, we got to give up on the luxuries we want in life. But this business lets us have both. It lets me build a legacy. It lets me have all the luxuries I want in life. It gives me a chance to leave something for my kids so they're always secure for their education, for travel, for whatever they need in life. I'm doing that, but at the same time, I'm with them. I'm with them, and I, I just pick up and I go with them wherever I want. They have a pet day from school. I'm not worried about taking a day off. I'm not worried about where I'm going to lead them. I'm not worried about leading them after school daycares. I ask them when they have a pet day, what do you guys want to do today? Oh, I want to go play the arcades. Oh, I want to do clip and climbing. Whatever they want to do, And I'm like, all right, let's go. I don't need to ask anyone, can I go do this? Can I take the day off? Nothing. It's their day. It's they have it off of school. They're supposed to enjoy it. They're supposed to be relaxed. We as parents have put a lot of stress on our children. and they're very young. I mean, even as preteens and teens, or whether they're still toddlers, we put a lot of our stress onto our children, and we don't even realize it.
Yes.
And I know that I did that too while I was working, but today, no, they're
Yeah.
stress free. They're stress free. They have real smiles. They're internally happy, and honestly, as a mom, there's no bigger accomplishment in life than that.
You're right.
And you know what? I also know that building these bonds and making the relationship stronger today, that later on when I'm older and they're in the workforce or running a business or whatnot, I know now today that they will make time for me.
Mm.
Why? Because I've made time for them today. If I had kept on going the way I was, of having that stressful life, I would have taught my children that later on this is going to be your life. And just the way I didn't have time for you at that time, you don't have to have time for me either. And at that time, I would have felt bad. As I got
Mm.
older, I would have felt bad going, my kids don't have time for me. They don't love me, but not realizing that it was my fault. But I've already rectified that. I've been rectifying it for 4.5 years. And I hear my kids telling me, "Mommy, when you're old, you're gonna stay with me. We're not gonna let you go anywhere. We'll always have time for you." I'm like, "What if you're busy with work? What if you?" No, we will always make time for you. As a mom, as a parent, there's no bigger accomplishment than that. I'm gonna tell you, the feeling that I get when my children say this to me is the most. It's worth more than $1 million.
Yes, you're
So
right.
this business has allowed me to do that and build like that financial stability for them. And I thank God every day for this. I say thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to be there for my kids and give them that security and safety financially. It couldn't have gotten better.
All right, that's true. I agree on that. Life is not just about work. Live to what matters most. That's yeah. This is like you said. This is not just a professional journey, but a personal one. We all have our different story. We all have our different journey, but all of us opens up when we have started this business. So yeah, check it out. Any last words, Radha?
For all those that are watching us live or that are going to be watching this later, just remember, it's not the business that you're only looking at. You're looking at the whole picture of you, your life, where you want to be, and what you want to do. And can this business help you with all that? Okay? Because some people think, oh, I'm going to start it, and then 6 months later, nothing. You know, don't do that. When you do something like that, you stop your own life. That's what you're doing. All I say is that look into it, see if it's a fit for you, and then move forward. If it's not a fit for you, step back. But if it is, you'll see for yourself how far you can get with this business professionally and personally.
That's right. They said right. Many are chosen. Many are chosen, but what's that? Many are chosen, but few are selected. Something like
For
that,
yes,
right?
yes.
I lost I lost my train of thought on that. But you know where am I getting, right?
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah, so to those who are watching, you could ask me or Rada to know more about this business. Just check it out for yourself. That's all for now. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Rada. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
God bless us everyone. Bye.